It is Thursday. It's a little early for me. Lately, I feel like I've been um, kind of getting late starts lately. Um, Speaking of start, let me do a quick tweet before I forget. Anyway, we are on the PTR today. We're going to do some sneak peeks at some of the upcoming decor, both from at least one of the reputation vendors. I think it's actually something else. I really don't know. So we're just going to look at some of that. We're also going to take a look at some decor that's popped up on the housing vendors straight in the housing area. And then we're going to take a look at a few plots that have some of that decor on display. And then we'll probably, just as a bonus, check out some of the plots that normally we wouldn't have access to. It's NA plots. Specifically, there's a couple of Katya's plots that we're going to check out. In fact, Katya started up a thread called the like a housing exchange, kind of organizing a way for EU and NA players to kind of note, hey, I've copied over this character that has this house. If you want to see it and you don't have access to it by any other means, now's your chance to get a look at it on the PTR. So I'm going to take advantage of that and check it out. There's actually a couple of those we might drop by, but those are the ones that for sure we're gonna take a look at. I tried getting my current main character copied over, but I guess it's still stuck in the queue. I haven't gotten the response saying that it's been copied and it wasn't on the list. What I'm on right now is one I guess I copied the last time we had the PTR because it was already there. You'll see what I mean here shortly when we visit my house plot. But anyway, just a couple of reminders. Well, actually just basically one reminder is there is a new KVT update. I tweeted it, and there's actually Katya's thread that mentions every time she updates it. It has a new interactability feature. She goes into a little bit more detail, kind of trying to give like a text tutorial explanation of how you might make it work. And there's been a lot of people asking, questions about, will it apply to this situation or that situation? And she's saying yes, no, that kind of stuff. So be sure and check that out if you're interested in what that might mean for you as far as creating a more interactive house experience for your visitors and stuff like that. So yeah, we're just going to start taking a look. This is Survivalist Padley. It looks like these are for pure soul frost. I assume that's the zone currency. From what I read, I think on Twitter, someone mentioned that it's an actual currency that appears in your inventory, so it's not like something on the currency tab at the moment, but it does stack out to like 1,000, I think they said. So it's kind of good and bad in a way for those of us struggling with space. That might pose an issue. I know the collection of promissory notes from WildStar, I've been kind of getting rid of some of them because I had like 20 stacks of those things, and it was just unreal. And they're soul bound, so I can't give them to any of my alts, which is a disappointment. But anyway, so we're here. This is Arcterra. We're in the zone. I really haven't gone out beyond where this is. You can get to it, the zone from a portal in Thade, right there where you get to all the other portals for like Valda Run and all of that. In fact, it's right close to that one. And I think the zoning in spot is somewhere around here, and I just wandered around just in this area. I haven't been anywhere else. I'm kind of trying not to spoil too much for myself, the actual content, quests and encounters and things like that. And in fact, you'll see little messages pop up as some of the zone events are ongoing, and things like that. So I mostly just found this vendor and saw that they were selling some decor pieces, so I thought we'll take a look at those, so you can see what you'll be aiming for, and then you know, make your decision there as to what you want to save up for. There is other things besides decor. There's toys and mounts and flares and things like that, but we're just focusing on the decor. So the very first bits that are available is once you hit accepted. So you have the, see if I can move this over. You can see you have the Arcterra narrow frost pine. This is a nice, pretty little pine tree. It reminds me of the Algaroth ones. It's just a little bit more frozen looking. And you have the stout frost pine, a little chubbier. Then you have the towering one. It's got some bare bits on the bottom, and then it's mostly growing up on the top. So for those of you that have, you know, snowy plots, these are going to be some great additions, because most of this stuff is cold, frost, snowy related. There's some bramble bush, but it's been given that frosty look. It's called the crawling bramble bush. And we have some frost spores, and it looks like jello to me. That's what it reminds me of. It's like jello. But it does have a bit of animation. It'd be good for some strange, maybe aquarium type of elements, or underwater, like if you're wanting to simulate an underwater city or something. This would be some good smoothness looking stuffs. Then we've got the Frostforged Chain Link. Now, it's not a really good preview, but it's just a single link of one of those chains. So it's got the little spiky bits on the side, and it has a little bit of a frosted texture to it. That's as good as I could show it. Hey, Soccer Top and Bones, good morning. You took the time to count. For those of you watching, it's yesterday we toured some Dominion homes, and Soccer's was one of them, and we asked about the stairs, and they actually went and counted 121 pieces of glass, 220 pieces total. Wow, that's a lot of pieces for those stairs, but they were so lovely. Like I said, it was kind of worth the pain. Anyway, so yeah, there's the chain link. What you could do with that, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of things that the texture, of course, would be really handy for, depending on how you work it. I assume that it's hollow in the middle since it's a chain link, but like I said, the preview only lets you rotate it on this axis, so I can't really show it too well. Then you have the frozen ledge, which is basically like just a massive amount of icicles with a little bit of snow covering on the top. It reminds me of the overgrowth, but it's just a frozen version. So really good for those that have frozen caves and other types of things. I'm sure someone could get really creative and maybe make some fencing out of it, just to be weird. And you have the short version, so it's a little bit more clumpy, not as many spiky icicles coming down. Looks like a claw, something. Or it almost looks like a wig to me. I don't know why. It's weird. Then we've got the frozen tulips, the cluster. So it looks like the stardust tulips almost, but they move, but they don't have any kind of like sparkly effect that I can see. And an interesting color, purple and white, seems to be the running thing. Then you have the pair, or it's just the two of them. It's a little hard to zoom in because it cuts it off up here. You can't show it really well. Then we have the ice cap cluster, a really pretty little bit of decor here. I don't know alternative uses yet, but it's certainly nice and shiny and a pretty color. Then you have ice cap mushrooms, just a smaller grouping. Yeah, that's the main thing I'm looking for, is any kind of items that I could use it for that don't necessarily have to be snowy plots. I know a lot of these will be, used that way, but I imagine there's going to be a ton of winter plots coming up after this. In fact, I've already seen a few showcasing their plots in preparation for all of this new decor, so it's going to be something. So here's a ice rock block. It looks almost like a shard, a crystal shard that you could use, maybe if you can find a flat piece of the surface that you could use that as a texture for something, or maybe it could simulate water of some sort. I don't know. Here's an ice rock chunk. Look at the shape of that thing. How bizarre is that? Looks like a guitar. Extend the top and add some strings to it, and it'd be like one of those electric guitars. A very oddball shaped kind of item. Here's ice rock cluster. So it's several pieces. It's really spiky. I figure we're going to see some like a Fortress of Solitude and Frozen themed kind of plots with all these spiky bits. Yeah, that would be the coolest. You're so bad with the puns and stuff. This could be good for like if you want to set up a fight scene, like somebody shooting some ice or something. That would be like an action kind of thing. I don't know. Here's a ice rock group. A little bit heavier on the spikes. Still an interesting arrangement. Ice rock obelisk. So another pillar type of thing. Nice and shiny. A little bit, it almost looks slightly transparent, so I don't know how it will react with other decor, behind it, if you'll be able to see it, if you'll be able to put like something inside it to look like it's frozen or something. I don't know how well that will work. There's the ice rock shard. Just another different shape. Got some nice flat edges or semi-flat, which I can use for different things. Ice rock slab. Nice flat edge there, it looks like. I like the texture on there. Ice rock spike. Look at that thing. Again, for those, with winter plots or planning a winter plot, these are going to come in really, really handy. Because there's just literally tons of pieces, building blocks for caves and mountains and all sorts of things. I mean, you could make a bridge and have all these little spiky bits hanging off of it. Here's a splinter. As one person said, it's almost as if they took every single kind of prop that they used to create Arcterra's open world. They just threw it all into the decor, which is fantastic. If that's really what, kind of drove them to add so many pieces, that's great, because if they continue with that kind of uh, in-depth and availability of decor items, I think the housing community is just going to be over the moon. So here's like a little fan shaped. It'd be good for like a headdress if you want to make your own headdress, or I don't know what else. That's all I see every time. When I first look at an item, I think, what does that look like? Here's a lush snow flower. So it's like the violet ones that we have, just a different color. An Osun floor grate. Again, I am unable to really show what this looks like. It's really hard to see. It's like a crisscross pattern, I think, of metal bits. So I imagine like a chain link fence without the side bits on it. I can't even tell really what shape that's in. It doesn't look like a perfect square. It's really hard to tell. It's rather big, but again, I can't really show it nicely. An Osun wood snag. This reminds me of the creep tree, I think is what it's called. Yeah, that would be good. Kitchen counters. Nice little creepy looking, I don't know, I guess it's a bush. Might be a tree, I don't know, but that's what it reminds me of. It's just, it almost looks like bones, like a spiny bit. Then you have the scrappy bramble bush. It's just a shorter version of the one we saw earlier. The snowflower, which is the same as the other ones, but just 2 instead of 3. The verdant bramble bush, which is like the new bramble bushes that we have. It's just like a repaint, which I really like, because we've asked for that, being able to paint similar items in different textures and colors, and this is one way of doing it, them just adding it for us. So now we have all these frosted versions of existing decor to add a little variety. So these are just like the new ones, just different color. Here's the Arcterra frost pine. So again, it looks like a lot of the algarock trees have been repainted. Looks almost sickly with the white trunk. Here's the Soul Frost barrel. So it's got the Osun little marking on there, with the oozing goo coming out the top. The Soul Frost conduit cap, which looks like a very strange piece. What you could use that for, I don't know, maybe a bottom of a table, put like a couple of pieces of glass or something over the top of it. Make a frame out of it, put 4 of them together, make a nice interesting frame. Who knows what all you could use this for. Strange piece. Arcterra, let's see, now that's a toy. Toy. Okay, that moves us on into the popular gear. So you have the Soul Frost altar, which again, I can't really give a good shot of it. I don't know if that's hollow up there or if it's solid. But you can see there's some nice texturing with the grate on the side. Got some bolts and things. A cold metal is how I would describe it. It's coming to get you, Bones. That's what it is. Morning, Maddie. I'm glad you could join us. Okay, then we have the Soul Frost Conduit Corner. So it's just like that other piece, but it's just a little section of it. Again, it's not really good, the previews here, but look at the texturing on there. Different types of materials showing up. It reminds me of the reinforced barriers, but just a flat version. Then we have the short one. So it looks long to me, but apparently it's the short one. So trying to get a good look at the little designs on there. A lot of detail. You know, it might be good for some wall trim or something in an Osuni type house. This might be a good countertop type of bit. Then we have the straight. Lots of metal, lots of ice. Then we have the junction. There's a lot of these pieces. They all have different bits to them though. It looks like a giant bolt there. And then you have the junction left. That's just a little corner of it. If I can get a good shot here. Yeah, it's really hard to zoom in on these because the way they position them in here, and you can't look at the top or bottom. It's so awkward. Oh, that's the right one. Then we have this Soul Frost container. Look at that goo. Little floaty skulls and stuff. I imagine it's... I can't say for sure since I don't have the item on hand, but I kind of assume it's similar to the new Protostar hatchery type goo, that you won't actually be able to see anything inside it. But I don't know. It's really hard to tell, you know, from a preview like this. But you know, for anyone that's wanting to make like laboratory kind of things for like maybe their Mordesh character or something, these kind of little doodads are really helpful in building that up. Then we have the Soul Frost monitor. Look at that. A nice screen. A little bit of animation going on. Even got this little weird tanky thing on the right. I'm sure that'll come in handy. And it looks like it's kind of layered in the front, so you can maybe only show certain pieces if you don't want all of it showing, which is nice. I know a lot of people like to do that. This has got a interesting little texture on the back, even. Then we have the Soul Frost Ooze, which is just that goo by itself. So again, I don't know if it's any bit, you know, translucent. I don't know if there's a special interaction with it, if you can like walk through it, or if it's just solid like a stone, but it moves. I have no idea. It would be interesting to find out. I've been looking for plots that have some of this decor on there, but like I said, these cost a certain amount of stuff, and not everybody will be going through this, through the area to collect them. Because, like myself, I don't want to ruin it. Now, I assume that's probably some of that ooze here too, but on the preview it appears to be empty, so I don't know. But look at the texture of the metal and everything. Shiny, Almost looks like a nice background for a painting. Too bad it's not flat, or otherwise I might use it. The short version of the pillar. So, again, it looks like a type of file. It could be tubes for some water or something. I don't know what all you could use for it. Here's a soul frost puddle. Again, it would be interesting to see how you actually interact with this if you're able to walk through it like an actual gooey pile or not. There's the soul frost skull. Now tell me what that reminds you of. Look at that creepy thing. That looks like the little robot off of was it Wall-E? Looks like his glasses, his eyes. Look at that! Look at those teeth. That's nasty looking. A pretty interesting bit. Here's the Soul Frost skull container. How creepy is that? Yeah, that's exactly what comes to mind. It's the shape, that long skull that's been stretched. I can't zoom in any closer, but it looks like that goo again with the skulls, that bluish purple oozing around inside the little container there. But it won't let me zoom in anymore. Look at the texture there, some nice designs, and it's flat, it looks like, so that might be some new flooring for somebody. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine the top of just the skull itself would be good for rocks, some kind of rocky feature. Then you have the Soul Frost tube. Another one, it's bent. Look at that. Nice bendy one. Again, this is going to be some good stuff for laboratories. Folks have been wanting, some tubes and gooey stuff, all different kinds of oozing. I mean, you can only put in so many bubbling eye jars and things. I don't know if any of these pieces have sound effects or anything, so that would be interesting to find out. Here's a mounted version, so it's got some brackets. A little skinnier tube. Again, nothing's showing up in the tube, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's nothing in it, because there's a few items that are existing in live right now that preview differently than what they appear once they're placed. So remains to be seen. Here's another, got a little bit of a bend right there. Good antennas, skis for those that's wanting to make a ski resort or something. Then you have the Soul Frost well. Again, I can't show the top, but I imagine it's got that goo floating around in the bit. Can't really see it, but look at the detail on the edging there. Soul Frost witch bust. Look at that thing. She looks happy to see us. I'm not even going to talk about her garments. Just ignore that. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. Dies. Okay, so that moves us into the esteemed gear. Now, the thing about these, I can't preview them for you. I can just show you that there are some new music options coming. So there's the Arcterra playlist. So if you enjoy the music in the zone, you'll probably want to aim for that. It's 100 pure sulfur, so it's not cheap. There are several housing sky options, the Arcterra Wonder, Lights, and Visions. Again, I'm on the lookout for plots that are showcasing these, but I have yet to come across them. And once you hit Beloved, then you have access to the Biome Fab Kit for Arcterra. And again, I have no idea what it looks like. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm not going to comment on, Bones. We'll just leave people to discuss that amongst themselves. So that's Survivalist Padley. Again, it's right close to where you zone in when you first come to the Arcterra area. Let me see if I can find where I actually come in. I think it's up here somewhere that you pop in, and maybe it's up here. I don't know where. I kind of got lost when I first arrived. I just, like I said, I didn't really want to do too much exploring outside this little starter zone because I just, wanted to keep it a surprise. There are other vendors here, for gear and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to leave most of that just to your guys' being able to find out. I'm sure there's things that I could probably get hold of if I do some discoveries and a little questing and stuff like that, but I really don't want to get involved in that. So we're just going to hop into the housing zone now. Yeah, I guess that would be one way. Make sure they don't fall due to age. The things we talk about. So yeah, you can see this is a rather old version of my mains plot. So just ignore that. Just don't even look at it. It's ugly. But I wanted to show some of the new stuff from the housing vendor itself. So these will be things that will be immediately available. Whoops. Let me turn that off because my tablet's talking. So the first one is, and I have a list here to kind of help me get through this, is the barrier dreg. And I'm just going to place these things. I'll just spend the money on buying it, just so we can kind of take a closer look. So it's lots of bones or bony looking items. Lots of like chicken wire, and looks like, I guess it's supposed to be leather. As you can see, it's pretty dreggy. It's got a little flag. You could probably just sink that down and just have the flag showing, maybe. That kind of thing. We just shrink this and move this over. The next one is, yes, I play tapped out. Did you hear that? Yeah, it's The Simpsons. I kind of, again, it's kind of like a building thing. You build the little town that they're in, so I decorate on tapped out as well. Yeah, I'm a huge Simpsons fan, so one of those things. Okay, so we have the bubbling toxic green barrel. We'll just put this one and then the yellow one out. So anyone, again, if you're making soup bowls or laboratory bits, a lot of this, you got this green smoke now effect, yellow one. I can't tell if they actually make a bubbly sound. Yeah, it sounds like they do. This would be some good options for folks that don't want to use the bubbling cauldron all the time. These might be easier to obtain for some, especially if you're looking for some green smoke. This will be fun to use that. So you have alternate types of things. It's also if you're wanting to make like a hobo place where you have like the fire and the trash can thing, if you can ignore the bubbling sound and go with the smoke, then you could put some like maybe a fire pit or something inside it and have it that way. Let's see what it looks like on the bottom, just for the heck of it. So you could just turn it upside down and put something else there, even if you want the smoke showing. But it does have the sound effects, so that's something to take into consideration. Okay, the next one is the chain link OSUN. Now we saw the frozen version on that Soul Frost vendor, but here's just the plain one. So you can see it's hollow, and I'm gonna turn it a bit and see if you can actually, yeah, you can actually go through it. So this would make some nice doorway entrance trim if somebody wants to get a little fancy with their house. It's got some nice coppery texture to it, but it's a little odd shape, so I don't know if it'd be good for countertops and things like that, but certainly for windows maybe, doorways, that kind of thing. So something to keep in mind. It's just push that over here. Oops, not the crate. Okay, the next one is the display shield. Draken version. Yeah, Windows as well. It'd be definitely good for that. Like on a ship or something would be great. So here's a nice little, it looks like a pillow to me. I know it's supposed to be a shield, but it definitely looks like a decorated pillow. So I imagine I'll see a lot of these, or I will use it for, you know, beds, couches, things like that, just because it's doubled up like it is. But hang it on a wall, it'll be a nice shield. Put some swords behind it, it'd dress it up even more, so that would be good. The emblem on it kind of looks like a little bit of a tree, so maybe you could just sink it in just so that that's showing and make it kind of orange-y. Who knows what all you could do with that, but to me it looks like a pillow. I would be the oddball to use this metal-y shaped shield for a pillow, but that's what I see when I look at it. Okay, let's move that to the side. And the next one is the Exonite pylon. Now correct me if I'm wrong if these are already in, but I'm pretty sure this isn't. So here you have a little Exonite glue stick. That's what it looks like to me. Kind of broken off. It has a bit of motion. It has some sound to it. So maybe if you just want the sound and not the item, you could hide the item and have the sound there. Bottom of it has a interesting coloring, I guess. But there's that. There's the exhaust fan Marauder. Look at this thing. Got like some of that shielding, the little shield bit. It's got a moving fan. Can't tell if it's got any noise. Doesn't sound like it. So that might play in its favor. But again, for those that like to build ships and other mechanical vehicles and stuff, this will be definitely, it looks almost like a Darth Vader helmet. Or maybe a shredder helmet kind of thing. The bottom of it's an interesting shape. Nice and shiny. Oops. Got a few dents, but no big deal, I don't think. Next one is the graded floor panel. I think a lot of people are going to like this piece. Look at the pattern on that. That's a nice little bit. This would be good for windows, tables, cabinetry, doors, you know, faux doors and things like that. Stove tops, a funky dance floor or something, because it's got that nice honeycomb pattern. Could be a picture frame. See what it looks like on the other side. Oh, look at that. That's a nice metal flooring there. Again, good for countertops, floors, walls, you name it. And it's, you know, it's a flat piece, so that's really handy. You don't have a lot of stuff that you have to hide, no weird kind of pipes or something poking out. This is a nice building block piece, in my opinion. It's not too expensive either. It's only 50 silver, so you know, if you're going to be using it for a large amount of like for your kitchen or something, it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, then we have the hollow log mossy. Great for Orani theme, jungle theme. Got the lots of mushrooms on the tree log. I don't know. Yeah, I was hoping that was the case. It is hollow and you can walk right through it. So it's great for, you know, making a fancy entrance to a cave even, because I mean, the inside of it has got some nice texturing on its own, but talk about a nice way of coming into an Orani plot, having this nice empty log that you can walk right through. I like that. Okay, next one is a hollow display Eldon. Now, what's nice about this is it's kind of like an effects, a particle effects, because you'll see the little positioning block that really doesn't show. If I turn off the edit mode, that disappears. So it's a screen that you can put into anything. If you want to make your own TV, your own little, I don't know, you can make a swimming pool out of this if you wanted, I guess. But look at how neat is that. So it's a new particle effects type of thing. So they've got it set up so that you can click on the square to manipulate it, but that goes away once. So yeah, lots of things you could probably do with that. Got a nifty design, a little sparkly looking, has a little bit of movement. You'll have to take that into account as you place it, but definitely some possibilities there, I think. Okay, then we have the holographic projector mounted, and then the holographic projector portable. So for those that have been using that Eldon Relic thing and are disappointed because they weren't around when they were able to be claimed more than once, and they just missed that they didn't get that opportunity because a lot of people like to use that bottom of it as some kind of extra little bit. Now you'll have that opportunity. You have this nice little ringling bit. You could probably hide that down into the ground and just have the animation showing. You know, maybe if someone wants to have, like for Star Trek, they've got the little, beam me up Scotty platform and they want that animation in there, that'll be cool. All right, Bones, see you later. Oh, poor going to work. And this one is kind of like, it reminds me of the animation that comes with the medical cot hovering, which will make this more accessible because you get it straight from the vendor rather than to have to craft the other one. But look at that, that'll be great for underwater, trying to give that little motion bit. That'll work really nice. Really lovely sparkly effect. Okay, then we have the ice rock building blocks. There's the arch, the block, and the cornerstone. Now I see in our future lots of igloos and ice fortresses and things like that. But if you weren't able to get a hold of snowballs during the Winterfest event, now you can create your own with a few handful of these. I see these sugar blocks for your coffee or tea. You could probably put them in one of the glasses and just make it look like ice cubes. It's not as transparent as an ice cube probably would be, but it's definitely possible. White furniture, I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of that. I mean, the curved pieces and the blocks themselves will lend really well for that. So yeah, I see like footstools and couches and chairs and all sorts of things for that pristine white furniture. All sorts of possibilities with that. This reminds me of, it may not have the complexity of the hover park pieces, but it looks very versatile. Yeah, yeah. Well, you could make your own little mushroom houses with these and just decorate with different dots, like using the Orin windows for the little specks. That would work. But yeah, lots of possibilities there. So I'm imagining we'll be seeing a lot of things built with the ice blocks, ice rock blocks, whatever you call them. Yeah, I imagine it would be good for cushions, for couches, chairs, um, making your own little stools. Uh, and with the curved shapes, they'll be good for like the dome-shaped beds and couches and things that I've seen. Those should fit really, really nicely. So a lot of possibilities. A lot of possibilities. Okay, then we have the where is that thing? Well, that's weird. Oh, I'm in the crate, no wonder. I was gonna say, man, why is that not showing up? There's the metal stairs from Protostar. So for folks that have been waiting for another type of staircase, this is the answer to your wishes. You have to be quite a distance away to place it. Look at that, how close it starts turning red. But for those that have a lot of ships and things that prefer metal rather than using the wood, these will be ideal for that. I imagine it will be used more than just for stairs. It might be window shutters, room dividers of some sort, and that kind of thing. Then we've got the, I keep opening the crate. The military platform Exile. Here we have a interesting little thing for those that have battle plots and spaceports and things like that. I want to look at the bottom. Got a nice little fan shape here. Put some water in here, make a little pool. Okay, then we have the mossy overgrowth. And we already have the leafy version, and we've got an icicle version. Now we have the mossy one. Look at that lovely piece of stuff. Look at it, it moves. So there's some movement there, which is nice. I mean, the leafy overgrowth doesn't have any movement as far as I can tell. That's really lovely for jungles, you know, ruins if you have that. It's just lots of possibilities with that. It's just the one that I found, so it doesn't appear to be in different sizes and widths like the leafy overgrowth, but still, you know, you can't complain over that because that's a really nicely animated bit. I mean, you could just sink down and hide the bits that you don't want maybe and get some variety out of it. It looks like a little log of moss though, for the base of it. Look at that, like a little log. I don't know if that's stone or just a placeholder or something to make it solid so that it's got some collision to it or what. Which reminds me, let me check that. The leafy overgrowth, you can't walk through the leaves. But you can that. See, that'd be great for hiding a little entrance to a cave or something. Ooh. Yeah, that'll come in handy for a lot of folks, I can imagine. Then we have the ritual pot. Now we already have the Draken versions, but this one is a Pell variety. So it's got little symbol on it. Got a few little light bits that, you know, people might use just for that. For the horn bits on the side as handles for cabinetry or something. Looks like a Pumbaa helmet when it's like this. There you go. That's the Pell ritual. Yeah, I like the handles. You know, they'll be a little tricky just getting it just right so this doesn't poke out, but I think it'll work nicely. It looks like it has a pretty straight line there that you could tweak it in. Okay, there's the spacecraft window closed. We saw this on the Decor Shopper a while back, but now it is going to be available. It doesn't function that I can tell at all, so it's permanently closed. But for faux doors or faux windows, it should work nicely. The back is just a repeat of the front, so no special contour there. But and of course, it's not, you know, flat or anything, but you might find ways of kind of building it up so that it looks like maybe it's open on one end. since it is kind of inset a little bit, you can layer up some white glass and make it look like it's partially open, kind of faked, I guess, a little bit. Just one thing to think about. Then we have the spade. We actually have a new tool this time. Comes in pretty small, but if we can size it up here. Like a weird little shovel thingy, or a weapon. Something for your shish kebabs. Or maybe you're just wanting, you know, a pole kind of thing, or you just want the top. I can see this being used for handles or something. Or maybe someone will come along and slap a spoon, an oversized spoon up in there and make it look like a bigger shovel. Who knows? But interesting. Weird from the side, from the back, it's hollow there. So it kind of looks like a trident missing one of its points. Isn't that weird? Things that happen in housing. And then we have, I don't think this is a new thing. I hope not. The Stone Stairs Draken version. I guess it's reminiscent of the ones that comes with the house. Now you can get them separately. It has like the little banner kind of strewn along, almost like a red carpet effect. And of course the big old horns. We turn it over. You see there's some nice texturing there. Not exactly flat, so you'll have to kind of tweak it a little bit to get what the pattern that you want, but it might be a nice wall trim of some sort. Maybe some cabinetry, something like that. Getting a little crowded out here. Then we have streamers. Whoops, forgot the R. Oh, and spell. The Dominion version and the Exile version. And it doesn't appear that they move at all. If they do, it's very slight. Yeah, it looks pretty stationary. So that might come in handy for those trying to create different kinds of curtains, bed coverings, that kind of thing. Different kinds of wall textures. Kind of shiny. This one's more red than anything else. I can get this a little exploded so you can really see. It looks like a ribbon kind of a look. And of course the Exile one is more kind of grayish blue. Of course, you got all these little blue bits and bobs on the top that folks might want to utilize, or just use the button or whatever. There's some new fabric type of things that people might find a way to use for something. Then we have the termite mound, or terminite mound, I guess it should say. Got that extra little bit in here. Let's find an empty spot here. Looks like a strange fountain to me. The purple version, so that kind of implies that there will be other colorings, maybe as decor from bosses or questing or whatever, but this is the purple version. So you got a lot of little glowy yellow bits and things like that. Then you have this funky purple bottom. Might be good for some more landscaping, for those looking for more rock shapes of different types. Um, I could see this being in a cave and oversized, and this be like stalactites and things, and have some little camp right here on this bit. A lot of interesting things. Now, I haven't gone through the trouble of checking out if you size them up and if they can cover the teleporter and stuff. I'm going to leave that up to the individuals to figure out, or if I happen to hear someone that has actually tested all of the items and said, hey, this works or that doesn't, then I will pass the word on. But look at the texture on that one. Just looks like dried lava or something. Okay, the last one that I think I found was the utility crate. And it's basically the toolbox that we've seen in the open world, and they've provided us that. They have a book, gears, wrenches, little tablet things. Looks like a different kind of wrench. So it's a little toolbox for those that's made little custom garages, or again, like some kind of laboratory that has little, lots of little gadgetry. That will be a welcome thing. The bottom of it is also interesting. It's a nice, mostly flat little piece. Maybe you can use it for cabinetry as well, some kind of door. Use it as a coffee table arrangement, some kind of bench. Who knows? But definitely there's going to be a lot of folks that will be happy with some little toolkit. They're really huge. Now, if I size it down to where the book looks a little bit normal, the wrench is like the size I am. So that's like pretty big tools. But there you go. Okay, so that's it for the previews of the housing vendor items that I could find. And I went through the list item by item, and just hunted for stuff that I didn't recognize. So hopefully I got it all. I didn't see anything new on the renowned vendor from the housing section, so I assume most of the other stuff will either come from the reputation vendors like we showed earlier, or through questing, uh, dungeons, things like that. Um, so let's take a look at some of the decor that folks have put on their plot for us to take a look at. This is Mayor Das Moose's plot, Mooseport Alley. Obviously, the alley is bye-bye, but he was kind enough to put out a lot of the decor that he's gotten a hold of. Yeah, Madame Faye and the Fab Kit challenges, yeah, a lot of them are. I don't know the names of all of these things. I don't know where they come from, but I know that in the short span of time that the PTR has been up, they've been able to get a hold of these. So these are some of the things that will be available if they're, from what I understand, like the renowned items are soulbound, from what I heard or read. So I don't know if any of these are actually tradable, like if you can get them on the AH, or if you'll actually have to do the content yourself to get a hold of them. But think about all of the LOP little areas that now we can have an actual little Kurg that we can place ourselves. There's the Fab Kit that comes with one or two, but now you can create your own. I know there's a few LOP villages that come to mind that they would be more than a welcome kind of addition to the plot. Here's some of the Pumera. You're getting some animal NPCs, as well as more character NPCs, so we get some actual non-noisy, wiggling little lop ones. They're in their little parkas. And you can see there's the blue-eyed one and the pink-eyed one. They got some NPCs that are dressed for the cold as well. Some of these, I don't know what their names are. Boulderbacks and something, some kind of rhino. Um, got this one. Again, I don't know the name offhand. Then look at this cube of ice. Now this is the kind of ice that would be perfect for like a drink or for a ice bucket of cold beer or something. Whether or not you can find one that's empty or if it always has a creature in it, I don't know. But certainly interesting. Look at that. You can even go right through it. How weird is that? Ooh. I guess because it's an NPC, it doesn't want to have any collision. It's kind of odd, but here's some of the new icy bits that you can get. I think they even showed some tweaks of it in different lighting so that you can see how it actually interacts, because it's kind of like a glowy bit with the snow. Yeah, this would be great for water with it not having any collision on it. It's just you'll have to position it just perfectly so that that goofy cat's not showing. But I imagine if you can size it up pretty good, that'll work great. Here's some of those new bone decor that they were showing off. All kinds of skulls. So if you have like a desert scene, even though these look frosty, you could probably get away with putting them in a desert scene as well. Just kind of decorate them with a little bit of grass and stuff to cover up some of the snow, and you'd be good. Lots of rib cages and skulls and claws, and you just end up, you could probably just assemble a creature out of just the bones, probably. Someone's missing a bottom jaw of teeth. Here's a rib cage. Lots of fun stuff there. I imagine my guildmate that has the Jurassic Park themed plot, he would like some of these pieces for his little skeleton that he created. He did a fantastic job of making up one on his own, but just to be able to have the really nice pieces available would be good. This fab kit, let's see, the name of it is Refugee Camp Fab Kit. There, you can see there is a quest available that you can interact with. I'm not going to spoil that for us, but you can see it looks like he's flown in and crashed his ship, and so set up this little survival camp. What I would really love is that little patch of something that he's got underneath his sleeping bag there. Look at that. It looks like a basket weave. Hey, Poi. Well, you missed quite a bit. You can watch it later. Yeah, we're just doing some house touring now, checking out some of the new stuff, some of the new fab kits and things. But you can see, I love the texture of this. I'd like to get a hold of that. I assume it's another version of some type of rug or something, kind of like what they use for the fur ones. And I'd also like the little jug of water. And look at the little sandwich. I'm waiting for them to give us the sandwich too. They gave us the taco. I'm happy about that, but I'd like the sandwich as well. Or some actual white pieces of bread. See, that doesn't look like burnt toast to me. That just looks like white bread. I'd like some white bread, please. Oh, is it this particular thing, the little basket weave stuff? Oh, well, I'm definitely going to be doing the challenge then if that's one of the decor pieces that's available. Definitely. I like the texture of it. Okay, so next one, let's see, is I'm going to spell this so wrong. Roots Creek. Oh, well, that's awesome. That is awesome. I'm definitely going to be doing that then for the decor bits because I really like the pattern. This is Roots Creek Boulder Brews plot. I like the plot anyway, so I don't mind visiting. I want to say we visited it before in the last PTR preview, but I think it's a cute little place. But they do happen to have some of the new NPCs and things, so I thought we'd take a look. Uh, you can see they've got the same icy rock features out, and they got the little lop NPC that doesn't jump around and make a lot of noise. They also got this little bit. I don't know what this is. It's like a grave marker almost. Um, it's very reminiscent of the thing from World of Warcraft with Frostmourne, I think, but for me anyway. But some kind of a little frozen platform thingamabob. But yeah, definitely, I see a lot of people enjoying these new animal NPCs being available to us. You know, it's been fantastic, folks using the regular NPCs and stuff, you know, even the guards and things, but I think we've been swamped with those. I'm happy to see different kinds of NPCs coming out, so the animals and stuff are very welcome. But just for the funs of it, we're going to take a quick look around the plot. I think most of it is just a little bit of landscaping and then the fab kits, pardon me, that are out. They've got the little frozen lake here. See, they've even put the little NPC there. Got a nice little waterfall scene over here. Got the corpse making it look like there's a creature in there. It's pretty disgusting. I don't know what he's got in here. Oh, it's somebody's grave. And see, that's what I mean about those stones. The camera going right through them, it kind of ruins the enclosure. Doesn't look as compact, but oh, his friend's been buried, and I guess those are all his little goodies that they came to give him. Here he's got a little, he's added on to the, I guess it's the hot springs fab kit, and made this little snack bar thing. Got some of the new winter NPCs. You'd think they'd have some sleeves and gloves on, but maybe that's just me. I like his little bartender. You see it? It's got the bow tie, and it's made out of, looks like a Chewa desk, and the Chewa tank, and the Chewa arms. It's weird looking. And you come into here, and this is his little cookery thing. Grilling the meat. Yeah, I vaguely remember this one. I'm pretty sure we've checked it out before. And then here he's got like a little hideaway place where he comes, get away from the crowds. And then here is the bar. Nice little bar scene. I like his little chandelier up there with the bowl and the sconces just attached to it. It's hanging by a sparking wire, so it makes it look a little dangerous. And he used the windmill thing as the fan. Again, it's also sparking. A little dangerous. And I like his little, you know, you have the bars that have the mechanical bull, and he's got His mechanical bull thing, little rhino head on it, and the sea. That's funny. It's pretty goofy. In his little kitchen. Yeah, I think the last time from the last time we visited, he's made some changes to it, which is nice. It's always good to see homes that have been around for a while and are still kind of the same, but they've updated it as they've collected new items. Here's a nice view of the downstairs. Got this little hanging out spot, little custom couch and two pillows. Just a cute little place. Let's see.